Good morning, everybody. It's your brother Van Silk. Today I'm rocking a t-shirt. It's one of my t-shirts. Are you hip hop? Uh, Curtis Blow actually came up with the idea back. I am hip hop. Okay, we all are hip hop. Today's topic is going to be about being a pioneer in hip hop and being an artist. So I'm going to question this topic: is are you an MC or rapper, or are you just I'm an artist? In the beginning of hip hop, in the infant stage, uh, when everything is being put together and articulated, it was the beginning factor of learning to do something. Um, who had the best rhymes and getting your bars together, to getting your rhymes together. And that was a great thing back in 78 and 70, end of 77 to 79 and 80, 81, 82, 83. You know, a lot of the pioneers and legends never got the chance to experience traveling the world on a real tour, never got the experience to have a video, never get to experience marketing, publicity, everything. So that is something that you have to live with in your life. Now, a lot of the groups that came out early on, you know, in their prime, their career was cut short because once it moved from Enjoy Records and Sugar Hill and Paul Winley Records, and I ain't gonna forget Peter Brown. I'm not gonna forget Taster Records at Harlem World that Jack Taylor put out on Fever Records. The game changed. It changed and it fell over to, you know, rappers coming out in Brooklyn, Queens, and other boroughs, and it spread. But this is a question I always ask. To some, it's the 47th anniversary if you go from the date of Kool Herc, and to some, it'll be their 42nd, 40th, 41st anniversary. It being involved in what we call hip hop. But once everything happened and everything stopped, what have you done in the last 30 years? Have you been consistently recording music? Have you adapted to the change in what everybody was doing when LL came out, when Run came out, when Houdini came out, when the NWAs came out? Have you adapted to the change, or you stayed stuck into just rapping on a record and not shortening and staying with the break beats and not exploring music outside of break beats, finding things? One thing I find out, the difference between the MCs and the DJs is always going to work because they can play music. A DJ can adapt and change their style. And I ain't talking about DJ just cutting me. Good, 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 good times. Good, 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 good. That is not what you should be doing at 60. You should have already understand that you can do that. But now let me empower my skills into playing not just only music from the hip hop genre. Learn to play music of the world. I didn't understand when Africa Islam wanted to move out to Germany back in the 80s, and he never came back to live in the United States because he learned to play world music. So no matter what country Africa Islam go to, or even Grandmaster Flash, and there's a few other DJs, DST, they will understand what music to play in those countries. Just like if you go to Texas, if you don't know that line dance record at the end of the night, you asked out. If you go to Iowa, I don't care what we play here in New York. It's not what they listen in Iowa. But let's just get back to the whole moving forward. I remember when when Grandmaster Flash and Furious Five was playing with rock groups, and people was, oh man, they selling out. Oh, what the fuck is this? And I remember when Cold Crush Brothers came out with punk rock rap, which I thought was a great record. Oh, yo, what the fuck they doing? That's not hip hop. Yes, it is. When the Furious Five did the record with John K from Steppenwolf, Magic Carpet Ride, what is it? When Run DMC did Aerosmith, what is it? Okay, like we used a lot of rock records as breakbeats as well. But it's again come back again. Are you an artist or are you an MC? Because if you are MC, then you're never gonna grow into being an artist. Never. Never. Now it's technology is totally different than what it is today as it is then. But your mind has to grow. I mean, no disrespect to none of my brothers and them. I still see y'all walking around trying to impress y'all like with your rhyme skills. Instead of going in the studio and just saying, listen, let's take this, let's take that, and let's make this that. Everything don't have to be you spitting 16 bars twice in a song or you trying to impress people still. Because it's either that you have it or you didn't have it. When Curtis Blow went out and made the song America, even though Polygram never treated Curtis Blow right at a certain point, I can admit to that. I know, but they didn't understand his diversity. When you did Basketball, that was a great song. When AJ presented "If I Ruled the World" to Sugar Hill Records, Sylvia didn't want it, and Curtis Blow took it, that was a great song. When you have songs, when you look at NWA, Fuck the Police, it was something about what was going on in the community, not only in theirs but everywhere. When you have something, you become an artist and not be an MC. When you go back and look at in the early stages of how any record that was out, when Treacherous Street did Action, Funky for Do You Wanna Rock, or Sugar Hill, Good Times, and then you had Sequence who had their own little sound with the funk, and then Sugar Hill had Trouble Funk and with a funky right on up. Hey, listen, those songs like Funky Right On Up, White Lines, which was I forgot who made White Line, but it was something that's never going to die. Just like they have American standards, we should have urban standards. Um, I look at the hip hop pioneers today who haven't made records thoroughly in the last 30 years, but at the age of 55 and 60 want to make records. And it's like there's a big gap because if you'd have just continued on making records, when there wasn't no label for you, but just record, you would have built some kind of fan base. Let's remember, KRS-One got dropped from Jive. Let me see, could have been 15, 20 years ago. He still made albums. Public Enemy left Def Jam, long time ago. They still made albums. So why should we depend, if you're an artist, why do you need a record label to keep making good records, good music? Good music. If you're an artist, it could be things that you can make and don't never have to release because it might not be good enough. Like, from what I heard, when Prince passed, there was over 10,000 masters of songs, or even Michael Jackson, because they just record. And sometimes you could take 4 masters and come with a great song. All I'm just trying to say is how I'm from the Bronx. How something that started in the Bronx and we couldn't keep a hold of it. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to be real honest. I remember When Master Don and the Deaf Committee wanted to get on, nobody was fucking with them. I came in and me and Mike and Dave started messing with Master Don and the Deaf Committee. I remember the Force MDs. Nobody wanted to mess with them. I put them on their first show and started promoting them. I remember when Dougie Fresh was 15 coming to me and he wanted me to put him on. I said, Dougie, you're not a good rapper. And he used to come to my candy store in Harlem and everything. And then one day Dougie and Loose Bruce came to me when me and Red Alert was outside Harlem World. And Dougie started doing the human beatbox and he grew. He grew. I remember when Johnny Juan Rayvon used to come to Harlem World to the MC battles until, Rayvon had to do, a little time. And I'm proud of him of where he's at now. But I'm looking at the Bronx. I'm looking at the Bronx. What groups have we actually put in this business from the first generation? Red Alert had the whole native tongue, Jungle Brothers. He supported all that. So I give all that credit to Red Alert. But in all actuality, in the 35 plus years, not one of our pioneering groups, with the exception of Bambaataa putting on the Jazzy Five, who had a successful record during that time, none of the groups have took the next artist under their wing and say, yo, here's the next generation. I'm not going to pat myself in the back because I dealt with the Rock Master Scott, the Dynamic 3 in the beginning. I dealt with the Rapper Medical 5 who was out in Laurelton. Me, Mike, and Dave dealt with Sweetie G from Queens. I mean, they might have not became super big artists, but we helped create the generation after. The generation after. And when I look at the whole Bronx, first generation, what did we give hip hop after the first generation as far as new groups? When I look at Brooklyn, of how groups were born, when I look at Queens, of how groups were born underneath the next group, what groups did we personally birth to say, hey, I'm taking you underneath my wing? Because was it Kane with Jay-Z? Was it Houdini with UTFO? Was it Run with Russell and them bringing in LL and all that? Like, so it ain't like we didn't have the opportunity in the Bronx to get LL or to get Public Enemy or to get Run DMC. But the attitude that we had towards the other borough was disgusting. I'm not going to say who said what, but it was just pure discussion of how, oh man, fuck them niggas. Them niggas is whack and them niggas is this. And at the same time, they the groups that surpassed you and went global. And still to this day, they are global. And we here fighting amongst each other about who's first, who's on second, and who's on third, sounding like Alvin and Costello. Now, I made a suggestion to a few of the pioneers that let's start a super group because a lot of groups are not together today, and let's put together a hip hop review. Oh, I don't want to work with this one and that one. Hey, y'all too old for that shit. Gray hairs on your balls, you're beefing. So I was told by some like, yo, man, just leave a lot of them old school rappers alone because they angry, they mad. And at the end of the day, I don't look at it that way. But I know if you're not making money in this business, you're mad. When you're making money, you want to show out. If you're an MC, then don't expect much. If you're an artist, expect the potential. I'm not going to go into real deep detail because if I keep talking, I'm just going to start calling names, and then it's going to get ugly. So my platform is not. It's not about calling out names. It's about seeing how you can become an artist in 2020. Because there's no limit to what you do in this business. Because I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, so-and-so should retire. They 50 years old. Well, when I look at Aerosmith, Steven Tyler, when I look at Mick Jagger and them, and they in their 70s and still performing. We have a very bad problem in our culture of music. We don't support the artists. So when I look at Ice-T do Ice-T, when I look at Ice-T do Body Count, how many of you ever been to a Body Count show? When I look at Chuck D and them as Public Enemy, then I look at Chuck D as Prophet of Rage with Be Real from Cypress Hill and Rage from the Machine. How many of you ever been to their concert? When I look at an artist who can transition globally, who can transition and do other things outside of being an MC, then you become an artist. If you Curtis Blow went from here and went and got a gospel artist and got the gospel church. Sparky D did gospel songs and nobody supported. So like, what would it hurt? Because if you still stuck on wanting to just show that you could rhyme at 50 and 60, and some of y'all who ain't never made a record want to start rhyming at 50 and 60, yo, do me a favor, don't call me. Don't even holler at me with that, because that is like taking me back to the 70s, which we already lived that part of our life. Look for the new artists. Look to help the new young artists that can help you, why, and take care of you, because you looked out while you be sitting in a wheelchair in the hip hop old school nursing home, and nobody's paying you no attention. Now, if you're a pioneer in hip hop and you haven't amassed outside the tri-state area, or you're posting pictures on Facebook, if you don't know who these people are, you don't know hip hop, no, teach them who they are. Because I don't even know half of the people that should be posting on Facebook. Seriously. Because you're posting somebody who never made an impact in hip hop. You made an impact. Never. You were just part of something that was growing. And you're still celebrating those who ain't never made an impact. But it's good that they're around because you can get information. Now, some people might not like what I'm saying, but then you know what? I give zero fucks. Because at the end of the day, when I look at certain groups, and I say certain groups, like, what have you done the last 30 years? Well, people know us, yo. I used to go to Philly back in this year, or I used to go here in Connecticut. Listen, man, some of y'all can't remember what y'all did yesterday, let alone you want your fan base to remember y'all for 30 years. The majority of y'all not even social media savvy. Most of y'all don't be on Facebook. Forget about Facebook. Do you have a TikTok? Do you have a Tumblr? Do you have a Twitter? Do you have a Instagram? No. And then you want to complain. At the end of the day, either you're going to be an MC for the rest of your life or you're going to become an artist. This is your brother Van Silk, and I'm out.